Hello, my friend. Lynn Horde here, the Joy Coach, back in your screen. This was meant to be the second video for my Get a Life experiment, which I began last week. So if you didn't see it, scroll down in the feed and you can watch the video that talks a little bit more about what this Get a Life experiment is. Obviously, a lot has happened since that video went live, which was literally maybe 5-6 days ago now. And so it didn't feel right to not come on here and really acknowledge that the world is a different place right now to what it was 5 days ago. Obviously, the coronavirus is spreading and the government are taking necessary actions that they feel are necessary to obviously contain the virus and flatten the curve, as I have read. So the main message, so I kind of sat here and kind of felt into my heart, like what is it that I want to say to you today? What is it that I want to share? And the really key thing is I want you to know that it's going to be okay. Now, you may hear that and go, Lynn, are you nuts? You know, this is not okay. I don't feel okay. And, you know, how can you say that? And, you know, it's something that I learned from, you know, my year of having kind of cancer treatment is that when you're in the middle of something like this, you know, this is unprecedented times. It's crazy. And, you know, people are, you know, we're having to self-isolate and you know, there's no toilet roll because, you know, people are stocking up for knowing that they might need to stay at home for a while. So I just wanted to hop on here and share that with you that, you know, when you are in troubled times, like saying to yourself something along the lines of, you know, this too shall pass. You know, it's not going to last forever. Yes, it might last for a while yet, but it's not going to last forever. So kind of, you know, being able to, and this is part of like looking after yourself during this time, is being able to share within yourself, to find within yourself a piece of safety, you know, some calm, some, you know, certainty of whatever that can look like in your own life. So, you know, the first thing I wanted to share today was, you know, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And just kind of hold your center through this time. And, you know, it's interesting, I'm doing this Get a Life experiment, and obviously right now you're like, wow, can't really, you know, go out and hang out with people as much, and, you know, all the plans that I might have made, or it's a different scenario. But what I still find is that for, you know, even in this situation, the way I look at it and the way I would encourage you to think about it, or the question to ask yourself is, you know, what is good about this opportunity, or what is good about this time? You know, what is the opportunity that lies, you know, in front of me? And, you know, I understand that people, you know, are having to stay home from work. I understand that, you know, there are people in high risk situations, or high risk, you know, sectors of the population, and, you know, just really want to acknowledge that, you know, this is scary. This is we just don't know. It's very uncertain times. But, you know, how you choose to look at it really is within your control. So I just want to acknowledge that, you know, my life hasn't changed a lot. I work from home, I live by myself, most of my work is done online. So for me, kind of like my day-to-day hasn't changed a great deal, but I've still been really thinking about this, like what's the opportunity here for me? So, you know, and I read a couple of posts online today, especially a couple of mum friends of mine with their families, and they're like, you know, all we keep saying is we're so busy, and this is actually really giving us an opportunity to slow down, you know, to really spend some time together, you know, to take a breath. And another conversation that I had this morning was, you know, someone saying to me, you know, it really is making me think about like what's important to me, you know, what is it that I want out of life, you know, really reflecting on that, the fact that our health is so important, and, you know, getting the opportunity to spend quality time with loved ones and family members, even if it's virtually. So obviously we might not be able to see them in person right now, but we still have time to obviously connect with them virtually, and thank goodness for FaceTime and WhatsApp and all those amazing things. So a little process, just a really simple 3-step process that I kind of use, because I feel the emotion just like you guys do, just like you do. I feel the fear sometimes and I feel the uncertainty. But what I know is that, if I allow those feelings and let them move through, I can get back to a place of being calm. So, if you're feeling the fear, acknowledge that to yourself. That's kind of like the first step. You can't get to looking for opportunity or looking for joy or, being creative, those things aren't necessarily possible when we're kind of stuck in feeling the emotion. So, the first thing is acknowledge how you feel. Like, I had a little cry this morning because I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed by it all. And then it kind of moved through and I felt calm again. So that's the first thing, acknowledge how you're feeling, feel the feelings. That's kind of the first key for anything. And there's going to be a lot of feelings, right now, given how uncertain and unsafe it might feel to you. So acknowledge your feelings. And then, so like I said this morning, acknowledge my feelings, had a little cry, and then I moved into a place of calm. So then the next thing to the question to ask yourself is, so what might be positive about this situation? So always a question that I'm asking myself is like, what's the gem here? What's the nugget? What's the a gem? I said that one, the gem. So, that's the question to ask yourself. Like, are you getting to spend more time with your family? Are you feeling like you can take a breath because you don't have to commute into your work? You don't have to hop on the tube, which means you're getting a couple of hours sleep in the morning. It doesn't have to be big things, but really focusing and looking for, okay, what is working here? Or what is actually the gift in this situation for me right now? And again, that doesn't mean that it's not a difficult situation. It's just also looking for the fact that there are some good things that are happening here too. And then the third thing you can do if you really feel like it, if you're in that space internally, again, you don't have to do this, it's just if you feel like it, is like, well, how can I help? How can I contribute to this situation? So, I sat this morning and I was like, okay, well, how can I help this situation from home, with the internet, with my work? I was like, because obviously joy would be an amazing thing to be able to spread right now and help people remember and connect to. Like, that would be really pretty awesome, don't you think? Well, I can't think so. So I hope you do too. You're obviously watching. So I imagine that you probably wouldn't mind a little bit of extra joy. And, so that's the question, like how can I contribute here? And I've seen some amazing inspirational things happen over the last few days. I got a post through my letterbox and it was somebody local. I'd never met them before. So Sally, you're a champion. So she must live near me somewhere, and she wrote out a form, hashtag viral kindness. I'm guessing it's on the socials somewhere. And she wrote, I'm Sally, here's my number. If you need a chat, if you need me to go and get some groceries for you, if you need something, give me a call. And another friend of mine who lives locally had done that for her entire street. So, it's a real, beautiful way of us kind of coming together and looking out for each other, and it's a real inspiration to me that, people are doing that and people are finding ways to be creative. So that's the other question to ask yourself, like, how could I contribute here, or how could I help, and it's help in a way that that works for you, that makes you feel good as well. That's kind of the other criteria around that. So for me, it's around my work and spreading joy. It's about checking in with my friends and my family, just, seeing how they're doing and, having a chat and moral support. So they're the ways, and then some other work stuff, which I'll talk about another time, about how I can support, and kind of raise people's energy and uplift them and kind of get them seeing this for the opportunity that I kind of see it that it is. That's how I'm viewing it. This is an opportunity somehow. And we're still at somewhat, people would say, at the beginning of it. So, or relatively at the beginning. We might still have another couple of months to go yet. So, we will be seeing how this unfolds together. So for today, I guess, given the current situation, what I wanted to do is leave you with a question around, for you, and I'd love for you to post in the comments below. For you, how is the coronavirus, a time of, or what's happening because of the coronavirus, how is that providing you some opportunity, or how is that You know, how has that given you a gift in some way? Like I said before, getting to spend more time with your family. So I'd encourage you just to really ask yourself that question, and I would love if you posted in the comments below what you thought. Also, given the current circumstances, I've had some friends message me around their questions around joy, like, you know, how do I do this or how do I do that, you know, given the current circumstances. So if you have a question, I would absolutely love to hear it. And you can either PM me, so private message me, or put it in the comments, or direct message me over on Instagram, wherever you see this. You know, feel free to write a comment or send a message if you've got a question that you'd love me to ask. But the core action I'd love for you to take today, so this is part of the Get a Life experiment, because one of the tools that I will talk to you about over and over again is looking for, you know, what is good in the situation, even if on the outside it doesn't feel necessarily so great to begin with or look so good. So love to hear that. Please do post it in below, and I'll be back next week. So thanks for joining me on the Get a Life experiment, and I will see you again soon. All right, my friend, have a good day. Bye for now.